The liturgical year will end soon, and the focus for these last 3 weeks before Advent is on some very weighty concerns. The end of the world. Most of us, I'm sure, are not overly concerned about the end of the world. Because let's face it, we do not expect this to happen anytime soon. But for my reflection today, I want to talk about something we should always be concerned about, and that is our destiny, heaven. Heaven is being with God, face to face and forever. That's about the limit of my knowledge about heaven. I really don't know what heaven is like, and like you, I can only guess and let my imagination do its thing. One thing I do know, I believe in the resurrection of Jesus, and that means heaven is for real. And we are all invited to this most desirous of all goals. One day, it was the Sadducees who tested Jesus. Jesus often spoke about God's kingdom. But the Sadducees didn't believe in an afterlife. So they presented Jesus with a dilemma about a woman who had been married to 7 brothers, and if there is a heaven, whose wife would she be? Jesus didn't answer their question, and he didn't tell them or anyone else what heaven was like. But he did point out that God is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. And this loving God cares what happens to us, so we can live with confidence. Because God not only knows us, but knows our hearts. But God also cares about how we live now on this earth. That's all Jesus tells them. He implies that we should not be overly concerned about what heaven is like and what living in heaven is like. We will find out in due time. We should be concerned, rather, with how we are living our life here and now. Jesus showed us how to live. When he rose from the dead, he didn't say one single harsh or angry word against his critics, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, King Herod, Pilate, or even the Roman soldiers who tortured and crucified him. This is amazing. But there's more. Peter denied him. Judas betrayed him. And except for John, the rest of the disciples abandoned him. But he did not say one word about that. When he appeared to the disciples that first Easter night, he only spoke of peace. Peace be with you. He repeated this several times. He also spoke of forgiveness. This is one of his challenges. Go and do likewise. Faith in the resurrection of Jesus and our own resurrection has been a tower of strength for so many followers of Jesus. It was faith in the resurrection that gave the martyrs of the early church the courage to endure hard to believe atrocities and death. We also need faith and a living hope to trust God to keep his promise for an eternity of happiness. No one has ever come back to tell us about life in heaven, and no one has even sent us a picture postcard of heaven. We are told to surrender all our questions and to trust that God will handle things better than we could ever imagine, and that God's love and care for us will surpass all that we can ask for or even imagine. We rely on God's love, and that love will never die. So although we don't know any of the details of life in heaven, not now or ever this side of eternity, yet we will never stop hoping while we patiently wait for the time when we will see our awesome God face to face. God bless you, my friends, and your loved ones.